My name is Allison and I'm 28 years old. Save the money for your brother. Dad said, laughing at my 1470 set. The words didn't just sting. They settled into the room like something permanent, like a decision that had already been made long before I ever opened a prep book. I remember standing there, still holding the printed score report, the paper trembling slightly in my hand. I had imagined that moment differently. Maybe not a celebration, but at least a nod, a quiet good job. Instead, I got laughter. Mom didn't laugh. She just watched me with that tight, unreadable expression she wore whenever something inconvenient happened. I should have known then that silence from her was worse than anything Dad could say out loud. Your brother needs it more, Dad continued, leaning back in his chair like this was a casual discussion about groceries. He's got potential. You'll be fine anywhere, anywhere. That word echoed in my head like an insult disguised as comfort. I spent the next few weeks applying anyway. Late nights, essays rewritten a dozen times, recommendation letters carefully requested. Every step felt like I was building something fragile in secret. I didn't tell them when acceptance emails started. Coming in, I didn't tell them about the scholarship interviews. For the first time in my life, I kept something just for me. But secrets don't stay hidden in a house like that. Mom found the acceptance letters in my drawer. I came home that evening to the smell of something burning. Not food, something sharper, heavier. My stomach dropped before my brain even caught. Up, I ran to the backyard, and there she was. Mom burned my college applications in front of me, the flames curled around the edges of my future. Official letters, embossed logos, months of work, turning into ash right in front of my eyes. I couldn't even speak at first. I just stood there frozen, like if I didn't react, it wouldn't be real. You're not leaving this family behind, she said calmly, as if she were explaining something reasonable. We need to focus on what matters. What matters? My voice finally came out. But it sounded chudjoy, even to me. Your brother, she replied simply. That was it. No anger, no apology, just a quiet final decision. I wish I could say I fought harder in that moment. That I grabbed the papers, screamed, called someone, anyone. But the truth is, something inside me broke instead. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just a quiet snap that changed the way I saw everything. That night I packed a small bag. I didn't take much, just clothes, my documents, and the one acceptance letter that had been left in my email untouched by fire. I didn't leave a note. I didn't say goodbye. For once, I chose myself without asking permission. The first few weeks on my own were brutal. Cheap motel rooms, instant noodles, job applications that went nowhere. I worked 2 part-time jobs just to stay afloat. There were nights I questioned everything. Whether they were right, whether I had overestimated myself, whether anywhere was all I deserved. But then something started to shift. I got a small internship, then another opportunity. Slowly, piece by piece, I began rebuilding what they had tried to erase. It wasn't the path I had planned, but it was mine. And I held on to that. 6 months later, Thanksgiving, I hadn't spoken to them since the night I left. Not a single call, not a message. Part of me thought they wouldn't even notice I was gone for good, but something pulled me back that day. Not forgiveness, not closure, just curiosity. I wanted to see if anything had changed. The house looked exactly the same. The same porch light, the same worn-out steps, the same feeling of walking into a place that never really felt like home. Dinner was awkward. Forced smiles, small talk that felt like strangers pretending to be family. My brother barely looked at me. Dad acted like nothing had happened, and Mom, she avoided my eyes entirely. Then the phone rang. It cut through the silence so sharply that everyone froze. Mom reached for it slowly, almost hesitantly. Hello? I watched her face as she listened. Mom answered and something changed. Her expression drained of color, her hand tightening around the phone. You mean my son? You mean my son? Mom's voice cracked in a way I had never heard before, uncertain, almost afraid. The room went completely still. Even Dad, who never took anything seriously, leaned forward slightly, his smirk fading. What is it? He asked, but she didn't answer him. Her eyes were locked on nothing, her face pale, lips slightly parted, as if the words on the other end were too heavy to repeat. Yes, yes. I understand, she said slowly. We'll be there. She hung up, but her hand didn't move away from the phone. Right away, it just rested there, trembling slightly. Well, Dad snapped, impatience creeping back into his voice. What was that about? Mom swallowed. It was a lawyer. That word shifted the air in the room instantly. A lawyer? Dad repeated. For what? She hesitated again, and for the first time in my life, I saw something close to panic in her eyes. It's about my mother, Grandma. I hadn't heard that name in months. Not since I left, not since they made it very clear that she was not part of this family anymore after she refused to financially support my brother's endless plans. What about her? Dad asked, his tone sharpening. Mom looked down at the table, then back up. She passed away 2 weeks ago. The words hit me like a delayed shock. 2 weeks. She had been gone for 2 weeks, and no one had told me. Not a call, not a message, nothing. I felt something twist inside my chest, but before I could even process it, Mom continued. It was a lawyer. That word shifted the air in the room, instantly. Then he turned a page. The entirety of the estate, property, liquid assets, investments, is to be transferred to her granddaughter Allison. Silence. Not the awkward kind, not the tense kind. The kind that feels like the world just stopped. No, Dad said immediately, shaking his head. That's not possible. There must be a mistake. There's no mistake, the lawyer replied calmly. My brother looked at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Mom, she just stared. There's also a letter, the lawyer added, sliding an envelope across the desk toward me. My hands felt steady, strangely steady, like something inside me had already known. I opened it. Allison, it began. If you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and it means you finally chose yourself. My vision blurred slightly, but I kept reading. I saw what they did. I saw how they treated you. And I saw how strong you were when you walked away. This isn't just an inheritance. It's a chance. A chance they tried to take from you. I swallowed hard. You were never less. You were just surrounded by people who couldn't see your worth. Don't let them near this. Not now, not ever. Build the life you deserve. By the time I finished, my chest felt tight but not broken. Clear. I want to contest this, Dad said suddenly, his voice rising. This is manipulation. She was old. She wasn't thinking straight. She was completely of sound mind, the lawyer interrupted firmly. And there is a clause. Dad stopped. What clause? He asked. The lawyer looked directly at him. If your mother is contested by any party named within it, that party forfeits any remaining consideration, which in your case is already 0. That was it. No loopholes, no arguments, no control. For the first time in my life, they had nothing over me. We walked out of that office in silence, but this time it felt different. Not heavy. Final. As we reached the parking lot, Mom finally spoke. Allison, we're still family. I paused, turning to look at her, really look at her. The night you burned. My future, you made sure we weren't. Then I got into my car and drove away. Not running this time, leaving.